My name is Hawa Asmal. I am currently working for a company called Kingsgate Clothing, which is a well-known clothing manufacturer. I'm the Group Human Resource Manager and I'm an administrator in finance because I am qualified both as an accountant and I've done my attorney's exam. I am a very busy person because I also run my own private company and which I devote most of my free time to my company. They are family-owned clients, but I run my own company with the assistance of other family members. And these are just administration of properties, rental collection, and actual administration of the whole process. I've been an academic from a young age, Well, when I finished my degree, just when I finished my first degree, I had gone overseas with my husband. I had gone to be in Pakistan for 1 year, but I ended up staying 5 years. So that was my first experience working in the commercial field. But it was a famous company. They were Aqua Gevat, linked with Germany, and they had they had also opened another branch of Konica. So they did a lot of photographics, and the industry has changed over the years. That time it was photography, laboratories, and where I got a lot of human resource experience because I had done a study for them, to do job descriptions from start of the process. A person hands in the firm for development till the photographs are given to them. My dad was a very influential person. In those days, he didn't attend formal school, but he was a very industrious and successful person. He built his business from scratch. His dad died at a very young age, and he was the eldest brother, and he had to take care of his 8 brothers and 4 sisters, which was also a combination of 2 families, and there was a yours, mine, and ours. And my grandmother was initially from Natal. And when she got married, she had to go to the Transvaal. But she couldn't take her first lot of children because of the apartheid laws. So half the family was in Durban and the other half was in Standerton. And, we had to travel to Standerton. My dad should travel a lot on the trains. He had to travel up and down because he had opened up businesses for his younger brothers in Standerton, and he had a branch here, and also he was in manufacturing in narrow fabrics. So he established his business from a very young age, and he was very well known. He was known as Gani Osman, and they were famous for their watches and imported watches and electrical goods. And plus he had opened the manufacturing in narrow fabrics. Well, first of all, the biggest challenge was to be able to go to school and get an education. In our culture, first we had, our family especially, all the girls, the highest that they went to was standard 6. And I was the first female with my cousin who was the same age as me. So now we had to break the barriers that we had to now influence our parents that we had to go to high school. And there was an Indian girls' school, so we could go. So because we both did get merits in our passes, and normally nobody in the family had got 4 A's, So they had no alternative. They said, okay, we can go to school, high school, and they were quite happy that we went. But when it came to Standard 8, we had the same challenge. Oh, you cannot go further. So it was another battle that we had to fight and, try to influence them. And my dad was more under peer pressure. He believed in education because he knew that where he came from. So eventually he agreed that we can go to high school. So anyway, we finished high school. Now the big other challenge was going to university. There's only one university in Durban that we could go, and plus we were limited in our choices. I had got place for dentistry at Wits, but there was no ways that I can leave the city, and go study in another city, because I had to get boarding and supervision, and it was not possible for the girl to do that. So there was 1 year that because we had transport problems, nobody had a driver's license. My brother, who was elder than me, he boarded in Reservoir Hills, but I couldn't join him because only boys can go out of the house. And so my dad said, no, we can't go to university, and we just have to call it a day. Well, anyway, I was very determined that I want to study. I want to be independent, even if I don't have to go to work, but at least I've got a qualification behind me. Even if I have to get married and something happens, I must be able to fend for myself and not be dependent on other people. And I had a lot of siblings after me that had to face the same challenge, because if I don't succeed, none of them would have also continued. So anyway, went to university. I did my first year BCom, and it was, the BCom subjects, the first year, the most boring. And there was no challenge there, and I just changed one of my majors to statistics. So I completed my BCom statistics degree, but those days there was no jobs in Durban for females in the statistics region, and it was only in Pretoria. So anyway, I gave it up thinking about it, but I also had my accounting and auditing to fall back on. So after I did my degree, I went overseas, got married, and came back in 82, and I thought, that's okay, I got my education and I'm going to be a housewife. Problem was, those days it was very hard to get articles, especially with the apartheid era. But fortunately, I managed to get articles with this small firm of auditors, and although it was at maybe quarter the salary at what I would earn, I wanted to go to the big five, but it was not possible because, number one, I was pregnant, I was a female, I was a black, so I had everything against me. And then the fact is that I had to do my BCom to honors so I could write the board exam. And plus I'm pregnant, so everything was, a big challenge. But because, we didn't have so much duties as far as the housework, and also I was able to study in quite a comfortable manner. And the fact is I had a supporting husband. And so you cannot be a successful woman if your husband doesn't support you in your initiatives, And plus, I had a family support, my mom, my one sister who was living in Durban. So if my mom is not available, she was always available to care for my children if I'm working. My mother's philosophy was, she was very happy that we get educated. In fact, I must tell you that she is the one that told me that, after my second baby, she told me that, you're wasting your talents We can go out every day. We had a good 8 months together. So she said that I think you should leave your baby with me, with the maid, and I have my sister to support me, and you need to find a job, you know. And if she didn't tell me that, I was not going to do anything, you know. And the fact is that both my parents believe that girls, they can be working, they can be doing whatever they want, but end of the day, you're still a mother and a wife. So the basics in our culture is that you must learn to cook, you must learn to run your home, and you must learn to sew, because everyone needs clothes. And those are the basic skills we were taught from a very young age. And we never bought clothes, because those days, I don't know for what reason, the clothes that were manufactured did not suit our culture. My goal was to bring up my children, give them an education, and at the same time in my company, because I was involved with all the BE things and the employment equity and the CETA training, that I was able to influence a lot of people to study, you know. And because in those days, a lot of people had, in the clothing industry especially, the people only joined the clothing industry because they didn't need to have a matric to join the clothing industry. So a lot of them never finished, they may have finished matric, but they didn't really have to have an exemption. So it was to get them exemptions, and then they had to get qualifications. So because I was involved with the clothing company, I was involved with a lot of the original CETA formations, the SGB boards. So I had also qualified as assessor and moderator, so I could give insight to the people in my company, and also help them to set up a training school. To young women in this present generation, I would tell them that everything you do must come from the heart. It must come from you, and not that people are telling you to do it. You must believe in yourself, and you must believe that you're going to make this a better place. And I believe that there must be no negativity in life. I believe that I only like to see the positive in people, and I think the negativity is found everywhere. So if you bring negativity in any environment, it is not good. So I see, even at home, you have to see the positivity in the people around you. The same thing at work. Don't look at the negative aspects. You can give advice as how people can overcome the negativity. And the main thing is that educate yourself. Don't be just complacent with your position. Life must improve all the time. I'm very happy that you all have been doing this. I've been following and reading some articles and all, but I never imagined that I'm going to be here one day. But I'm very happy because this is the forum that I can give an input of my whole life. And as a woman, and the fact is that I've been able to help people to achieve leadership goals, and I'm in a male-dominated environment, because the manufacturing industry, the leadership is majority males. Now only they've broken, I was the first female to become the chairperson of our clothing association in about 3 years back, I think. But I had to resign because we changed our association. And that was a breakthrough because it's very male-dominated.